Hello and welcome back to a fabulous Missouri Constitution video. We are going to be looking at the specific branches of Missouri government in this section. So starting here with branches of Missouri government, one is the legislative branch. Now we know that the legislative branch is responsible for making laws. We also know that our federal legislative branch is called Congress, while our state legislative branch is referred to as the General Assembly. Okay, just like our federal legislative branch, our state legislative branch is bicameral, meaning it has two houses, and it's made up of the Missouri House of Representatives and the Missouri Senate. Okay, so again, their job is making laws. They do have a kind of sort of similar requirements in order to serve in this branch as our federal officials do. In the Missouri House, if you want to be a representative to serve in the Missouri House, which is in Jefferson City, you have to be at least 24 years old. You have to have been a registered voter in the state of Missouri for at least 2 years. And you also have to live in the district that you're going to represent for at least 1 year. Okay, 24, vote for 2 years, and live in the district you're going to represent for 1 year. Okay, in order to be a Missouri senator, again, working in Jefferson City, you have to be at least 30 years old. You have to have been a registered voter in Missouri for 3 years, and you also have to have lived in the district you're going to represent for 1 year. Okay, so similar requirements. And their term is also similar. So the Missouri House of Representatives, they're serving 2-year terms. Okay, so every 2 years, when we elect a new member of Congress, you're also potentially electing a new Missouri representative. And you also have terms for the Senate. Instead of 6 years, which is at the federal level, these senators only serve 4-year terms. Okay, so there's a quick crash course in the Missouri legislative branch, which is the General Assembly. Keep in mind that the people who are serving in these positions are going to change. As of right now, in 2020, the person who represents our Central High School district, the district that we are in Missouri, is Mike Henderson. And the person who represents us in the Missouri Senate will be Elaine Gannon, which will be in January. Okay. So the second branch that we want to look at, just like the second branch of the federal government, is the executive branch. Same thing here with the state government. So the executive branch is made up of 6 elected positions. Okay. The governor, the lieutenant governor, treasurer, auditor, secretary of state, and attorney general. So the governor is responsible for enforcing and executing the laws of Missouri. So he's kind of like the president of Missouri. Okay. Our governors serve 4-year terms and are elected in the same election cycle as we elect a president and vice president, et cetera. Okay. The lieutenant governor is responsible for kind of sort of the vice president of Missouri. He or she is responsible for being the president of the Senate. So if there's ever a tie in the Missouri Senate, they go in and break that tie. But they're basically just responsible for being there just in case something happens to our governor. The treasurer is responsible for making sure all of Missouri's finances are in order. They are the people that make sure that, there's they deal with economic policy in Missouri. We'll just leave it at that. The auditor is the person who's responsible for making sure that all of the programs and all of the money in Missouri is conducted how it's supposed to be and spent where it's supposed to be. The Secretary of State, the state secretaries of state have gotten a lot more popular as of late because this is the organization that has to certify the results of an election. Okay, so an election takes place in this situation earlier this month, and it's up to the Secretary of State for each of the states to certify it, to say, yes, this is exactly who won in our state, these are who the electoral votes go to, etc. And the state attorney general is responsible for representing the interests of consumers and also for representing the state in any sort of a legal situation. Okay, so there is video part 1 of the branches of government. See ya. Let me know if you have any questions.